Hi, so this problem is a problem from section 1.7. It's example 3. And in the lecture video that is posted for you to watch on this section, they skip a bunch of steps in the simplifying process for this problem. So I am going to go back through for this one and kind of fill in those blanks. All right, so the problem, again, section 1.7, example number 3 in the PowerPoints that are posted in Blackboard and then on the video when you get to example 3. All right, so they ask us to differentiate this function 3x minus 5 to the 4th power times 7 minus x to the 10th. All right, so we have to find the derivative. We have to use our product rule because we're multiplying, and you're going to have to utilize the chain rule within the product rule because of what our functions are. All right, so starting with using our product rule, we take this first function right here, 3x minus 5 to the 4th, as it is, multiply that by the derivative of the second. So this derivative requires your chain rule. The 10 comes down to the front. 7 minus x to the 9th would stay because you'd reduce your power by 1 to get the 9th power. And then the inside function's derivative is -1 that would get multiplied back here. All right. Then we add as part of the product rule. This time the first function, 7 minus x to the 10th power, is the second function. And we have to multiply it by the derivative of the first. So that brings down the 4 to the front, leaves the 3x minus 5. New power becomes 3 by the power rule, and then the derivative of the inside is a 3 that you would multiply back here. All right, so that's our product rule. The first function, all of this is the derivative of the second, plus, and this is the second function, and then all of this is the derivative of the first. Okay, then they kind of just say, if you clean that up, you get to the answer, which is down here. All right, but to get there, here are the steps to do so. You would take, first I would suggest simplifying each term. So all this stuff in this first group, let's clean that up. So 10 times -1 is -10. We have 3x minus 5 to the 4th, and then we have 7 minus x to the 9th. Plus, 4 times 3 is 12. Then you have 3x minus 5 to the 3rd times 7 minus x to the 10th. If you type this in yellow, that's highlighted here in yellow, into MyMathLab, they should accept that as the answer. So you don't have to do all the other steps to get the answer correct. All right? But to get the answer that they arrived at, they factor this. So they look at the two terms, the two things that we're adding, and they pull out the greatest common factor. So you have a 10 and you have a 12. So between those two numbers, there's a common factor of 2. That's where this 2 comes from. You have a 3x minus 5 to the 4th, and over here you have a 3x minus 5 to the 3rd. So there's at least a 3x minus 5 to the 3rd in both, so that gets factored out. And then the 7 minus x to the 9th and the 7 minus x to the 10th, since there's at least 9 copies of that, that can get factored out as well. So all this stuff sitting out here is the greatest common factor of the two terms. So if that's factored out, in the brackets here, we're going to write down what's left over. So remember, a 2 was factored out, and you had a -10, so that leaves a -5. You had 4 copies of 3x minus 5 to the 4th, but 3 of them are factored out, so that leaves 1 left over here. And the 7 minus x to the 9th, all of those got factored out, so none of those are left in the first term. And the plus sign, remember the 2 got factored out, so that 12, what's left over is the 6. You factored out a 3x minus 5 to the 3rd, so all of this stuff is factored out, so none of that is left over. And then 7 minus x to the 10th, 9 of those got factored out, so there's 1 copy of the 7 minus x left over here. So that's where this comes from. All right, so all this stuff in front stays here, and then we're just going to clean up what's in these brackets. So you distribute the -5 and get -15x plus 25, plus distribute the 6, gives you 42 minus 6x. And then again, all this stuff in front stays, 3x minus 5 to the 3rd, 7 minus x to the 9th, and then inside the parentheses, 25 and 42 is 67, and -15x and -6x is -21x. So that's where that answer comes from. But again, you don't have to do all those steps. It's just cleaning it up. It makes it look a little nicer. But this line here I highlighted in yellow is perfectly acceptable for using that as your answer in MyMathLab. All right, I hope that helps. If you have any other questions about that problem or any others, please don't hesitate to contact me.